Konnichiwa. This is Tom, Ghost of Matsubara, your man in Japan, coming to you today with another episode of Kanji Hunter. Don't forget to subscribe to Ghost of Matsubara and smash that notification bell. Today's kanji was suggested by my friend and bandmate Arisamon of Acrobat Shonen. You may already know this, but I played drums in a band over here in Nagoya, Japan, called Acrobat Shonen, and Arisa is our guitar vocalist. So today's kanji is fumu. Now fumu means to step on something or tread on something. It's actually got a whole bunch of different meanings that I'll get into a little bit more later. But I do want to say, good job, Arisa. This was a difficult kanji to figure out. So anyway, let's break it down and take a look at it. First, let's draw this. Now, to draw fumu, we start over here with this square, come right down the middle. This guy's got an arm, and then we throw this back here, and that's our left-hand radical. We'll talk more about that in a second. Now, over here on the right, in the top, we've got the kanji or radical for water, and then underneath it we've got the radical for sun. Okay, and then next to that we draw our hiragana mu, and that is fumu. Alright, and I will take my applause because I had to practice that a lot. That wasn't easy for me. So this is the kanji for fumu, and we are going to start by looking at the left-hand radical. The left-hand radical of fumu is basically foot. Foot in Japanese is ashi. Now, as you can see over on the right hand of this, this is what the modern kanji for ashi in Japanese looks like. All right? And as you can see here, there's ashi, and you can also say soku. Now, you hear this when you've got a word like manzoku, which means to be satisfied with something. Ashi, in this form, we're kind of looking at it as a noun, right? Ashi, leg, right? Now, it also has the meaning of tasu, which means to add something. It also has the meaning of tariru, which also means to be sufficient or enough. Anyway, in this case, we're looking at ashi in kind of its meaning just like that, like a foot. Alright, so on the right here, we have ashi, right? But how do we get here? Well, it starts way back over here in the top left. Now, these two archaic oracle bone type kanji, they represent a footprint or a foot, okay? Now, these are kind of inverted, but that's how I copied them from the reference book. But anyway, these points that stick out here, those are actually big toes. So this would be your left foot, and this would be your right foot. But anyway, that's the archaic way of printing it. Now, to standardize it, they made it into this. Now, this doesn't mean foot or footprint anymore. This means tomaru, or to stop something. You see this really often when you see stop signs. So if you drive a car in Japan, you're gonna see these all the time. And it doesn't look like an American stop sign. It's not an octagon, it's an inverted triangle with that thing in the middle. But it's still red, so that's easy to remember, right? Anyway, that's what your stop signs in Japan look like. So this was tomaru. Alright, now in the archaic usage it was a footprint. Then they added this square. Now usually when we see this square we think it's mouth, kuchi, but not in this case. There's a couple schools of thought on this, and I'll tell you which one I prefer as well. Some people say it's a chest attached to a foot and a guy standing there. I kind of prefer the other way, to think of this square as a kneecap.
That's what I read in the tome.
It's a kneecap, and I kind of think that makes a bit more sense anyway. In our radical form, we're still using this kanji right here, okay? And you'll also see that kanji in odoru, which means to dance, right? When you usually see ashi or tasu or tariru, it's gonna look like this. And this is like a whole nother lesson onto itself with this particular shape. There's a different radical detour route we can take. We will get to that in a different episode, I promise! Alright, so on the right hand side, we have this. Two kanji stacked up on each other. And it looks like it would be an obvious explanation, but it's not. The top here, we've got the kanji for water. All right, water in Japanese is mizu or sui. Then we add this kanji, iwaku. Now, this was not obvious. This took a lot of research because it's not a common kanji, and it looks almost identical to the kanji for sun, with nichi, right? The ni in nihon, right? That kanji, right? That's the kanji for sun. And it is, in fact, the kanji here at the bottom, which is the kanji for sun, right? So, as a non-native speaker looking into this is very confusing. But anyway, if you look closely, this is the kanji for sun, and I'll draw it real quick, all right? And you go like this, right? And everything's connected and everything looks nice, right? Now, this kanji, iwaku, turns out it means to say or to speak, the same as iu, right? Iwaku, iu has the same meaning, I guess. This was confusing to look into. Iwaku, notice right here, this line is not connected. That's the only difference I could find. And also, it's a little shorter. It's a little shorter and a little bit wider. But iwaku, which to my non-native eyes looks just like the sun, but anyway, it's not. I noticed there was a ku next to it. I was like, I have never seen that. I have never seen the kanji for sun with a ku next to it. It didn't make any sense to me, but anyway, further down the rabbit hole, here we are. So, iwaku means iu. That's to say or to speak, okay? Now, we got mizu, water, on top of to say or speak, all right? So that's what the idea is right here, to. So it means fluent speech. To speak fluently, to speak a language fluently in Japanese is pera pera. Nihongo pera pera, for example, means I speak Japanese fluently. Nihongo pera pera. All right? Now, pera pera. Pera pera. All right. So I could not figure out why the foot and the fluency of speech, why does this make up the idea of to step on? And I did as much research as I could. Anyway, fumu means to step on. So how did we get here? All right. I was stumped. Usually when I do this, I'm just on my own and I do my research, right? But I could not figure it out. So I lifelined. I sent Arisa a text and I said, yo, why? I don't get it. Please explain it to me. And so she sent back an easy explanation. She sent back to me this explanation. Hanasu pera pera koto no wa ne, mizu tamari ni fumu no wa peta 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 peta. So that's the noise. Peta 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 peta. That's the noise. That's the onomatopoeic noise of feet stepping in puddles. Peta 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 peta. So that's how we got here. That was weird. I couldn't figure it out, but that's what it is. Peta peta peta. The radical on the right means pera pera hanasu koto, right? To speak fluently, right? And then you add the left radical for foot, and now the meaning changes to peta 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 peta. Step on, to step in, to step on, right? Fumu. Arisamon. Arigato ne. Tanoshikatta yo. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I enjoyed today's lesson, and I learned a lot. Leave a comment, leave a like, and share this video with anyone who is interested in languages. If you are interested in learning Japanese, then you should definitely contact me. I have a master's degree in Japanese, plus I've been living here for like 16 years now. I can help you out. If you'd just like to support content creation on this channel, then you are welcome to make a donation over at PayPal. Thank you again to Arisa from Acrobat Shonen. Today's kanji was a lot of fun. It was a big challenge for me, and I learned a lot. You can find Acrobat Shonen on Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. We also just recorded a music video for our single Wash Your Hands, and that will be up very soon, so keep an eye out. Again, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that notification bell, and until next time, mata ne!